I'm going to go ahead and get the wire.
This is video 3 for the small trailer dinghy build. We're going to wire it, paint it, get the rails put on it, and get it out the door to its new owner, down the road to its new life.
I've purchased a wiring kit off Amazon. That's all there is to doing this tail. We do have to put a sheet metal screw through this white wire into the frame. That's all there is to that. So we now have to split this wire and run down each side of this. We need the brown and yellow and the brown and green. So we will put our chafing on here. I have a corner to push it around, which is going to prove to be problematic, I suspect. Yeah, that's not going to work. I got to pull a fish tape through there. So now we can go ahead and tape the end of our green wire to there. Give the old heave-ho and feed this chafing conduit material through the holes so it provides some protection. So it comes down the tongue, it Y's and goes each direction. Now I'm going to very carefully weld this up. I'm going to put a piece of metal over here and weld this up really slowly so I don't melt anything down inside of here. While I'm waiting on this weld over the top of the access cover to cool down so I can finish welding it, we're going to go ahead and start painting the pack. So coming out of here, I've got a brown wire and a yellow wire. The brown wire is the tail light, and then the yellow wire is the stop and blinker. I had these old tie-down rings from a different project I did, but the bracket that they were held down with originally was a bolt-on bracket, and I wanted to be able to weld these on the trailer, so I just went and bent a little piece of metal and made them into weld-down tie-down points. So basically just put that up here in place. In order to support the boat, we had to put these brackets in, and we're going to put Trex actually to wrap it in green carpeting. And then down the middle, we're using this kind of V-trough. The guy I'm making the trailer for built this. He used some cedar and some Trex. I've gone ahead and laid it in place, and I used my punch and I came up through the brackets and I marked on the underneath side where all the holes need to go. We're going to go ahead and drill those for quarter 20. They're 2.5 inches long, so we'll have to cut them down to length to get them to come up through. And we're going to use T-nuts, which basically sink into the surface of this. And we'll get all those installed and do a check fit before we wrap it in carpet. I'm finalizing the check fit of the keel support. It looks like it's going to work really well. He did a good job putting it together. So it's in really good shape, and I'm pretty happy with how it has turned out at this point. So with that in place and temporarily check fit, we're going to go ahead and start working on the side rails. And we're using Trex for that, which is material he had on hand. So we've gone ahead and ripped that down on the table saw, got it all routed. And now we're going to go ahead and get it fit in place. We're going to clamp this thing in the middle to these uprights. Well, I'm not necessarily disappointed with that. All right, so we did an initial heat, we reclamped it, and then we heated it for 8 minutes. And I've got thick leather gloves on, but it is definitely hot, and it is much more flexible than this section up here. I guess while this side's cooling down, I'm gonna go ahead and heat the other end. I'm impatient, and this has had a chance to cool down enough. I'm gonna take the clamps off slowly, and I'm gonna use my center punch to mark the holes. Yeah. Okay. So there is our edge set board. You can well, it's time to wrap the twice. Well, even if I'm wrong, I always thought I should have been right. Basically this exact same thing on the other one, and then the bottom keel also. Well, we're going to install the runner for the last time. Well, there's one. I'm not gonna bore you guys. I gotta do the same thing on the other side, nice and slow, make sure everything goes in nice and tight, put a little Loctite on there, get it all lined up. So I'm gonna bolt that one up. I've got to put a license plate bracket off of the back of this. So we're basically just going to weld this little piece of angle on right here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and coat the inside of the fenders. We've got this undercoat, so this is basically spray and bed liner. This stuff goes on really thick, and it will prevent rock chips and noise deadening and all the other good stuff that goes along with that. So we're gonna go ahead and spray this on here, get a nice heavy coat, and let it dry for probably 6 to 8 hours, and then we'll go ahead and install these. So you can see, hopefully you can see that textured sort of finish. So really, all right. So I'll do the other one. We'll get them set aside, let them dry. There's our 3 stickers. Go ahead and put them on the other side. Time to mount the fenders. So there's the bracket mount. All right, put the tire out of the way. We're gonna put the bracket on here. Okay, so I've painted the inside of that fender, and we're going to get a pop rivet ready. Okay. Those are out of the way. Well, this is going to wrap this one up. This was a custom trailer build for this sailboat. You saw what we started with. It was in really rough shape. The only thing we've reused was the axle, the wheels, and this piece of steel for the tongue. Everything else was custom fabricated to fit this specific boat. I ordered a bunch of parts on Amazon. Check out those. Those will be down in the description. The boat bumpers, the stainless steel fasteners, the light pods. Most of the steel was secondhand steel we got from a buddy of ours, and minus having to deal with a little bit of rust, it turned out really well. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope there was some useful information in this video for you. If you're trying to build something custom for any specific boat you have, you can definitely get some takeaways from this video. I would recommend not using the Trex. We did it in this application because we thought it would be better for the water. However, it is quite difficult to work with to get the curves. In the future, I would just use something like cedar or something like that. But overall, really happy with the way it turned out. I think it's going to serve the friend of mine that I built it for very well. And in the spring and summer, he'll be able to put this to really good use. Until next time, thanks for watching.